The Architecture Museum, baby. Woo! So here we are walking through Corb city of Chandigarh, and so far my impressions of it are I'm actually pretty darn impressed. And the reason I'm impressed is because I'm in a city of 1 million people and I don't feel like I'm in a city of 1 million people. Now, this is one of the main roads next to me. You can see it's quite quiet, but also because I'm surrounded by trees, as you can see that we've just walked into, you feel slightly disconnected from it. You're protected from it acoustically, slightly. I mean, you can still hear the noise, it's still noisy, right? But you feel sheltered by the trees. You know, you just don't feel like there's 1 million people here. In Delhi, you felt like you were constantly jostling and fighting for space. But okay, I'm not in the very deep centre of the city at the minute, and we'll go and have a look at that a bit later on. But on the outskirts here, where the Supreme Court is, and I'm just walking down to the Architecture Museum now, you feel like you're in a very nice, modern, clean city. Now, something important that I do have to say is that the reason that Chandigarh is here at all is because of a fairly turbulent time in India's history, and to understand that we need to go back to Partition in 1947. And we're going to have a look at that now, because this event caused the displacement of up to possibly 10 million people. And to understand Chandigarh, we have to understand the events of history. Let's take a look.
To secure independence, the Hindus had with great reluctance accepted partition. Pakistan was established for the Muslims, a minority group who refused to be ruled by Hindus. Trouble was inevitable in the Punjab, where the dividing line left a large minority on each side. Rising bitterness touched off a series of mass killings that for sheer terror and savagery have never been surpassed in modern times. Large areas of cities were destroyed and hundreds of villages were burned. Tens of thousands of people were killed because of their religion. In a frightened, desperate attempt to save their lives, millions of Indians began a journey that over the months was to become the greatest mass migration in history. Leaving thousands buried along the road, millions of Hindus and Sikhs who had been living in Pakistan moved laboriously toward the east and the safety of India, while other millions of Muslims headed in the opposite direction, hoping to reach Pakistan before marauding bands of enemies would slay them and their families. Most of them had never traveled more than a few miles from their birthplace, and almost none knew their destination or what horrors the coming days might bring. In all, some 10 million people were uprooted from their homes.
So what followed wasn't just a loss of homes, it was a complete loss of identity for the people of the Punjab, which was split directly in two. So the idea emerged to create a new capital for the displaced people of the Punjab in India. Chandigarh would become a statement piece that from the ruins of something terrible, a new utopian city could be created to make people feel safe and to make people feel at home. Before Le Corbusier, there was another vision for Chandigarh, and this came from Albert Mayer and a Polish city planner named Matthew Nowicki. But Nowicki would actually tragically die in a plane crash in 1950, and this more or less halted the plan for Chandigarh. And that's when Corb came in with his modernist ideas. So let's have a look. Le Corbusier didn't just imagine a city, he imagined a living body. Chandigarh, in his plan, had a head, the capital complex, the lungs, the green spaces around the city, and a heart, Sector 17, where the markets are. The city was divided into sectors, with each sector being self-contained, having schools, shops, social places, generally everything you need from a small modern city. Like a living body, each cell was interconnected. The roads were linear and tiered from fast highways to pedestrian walkways. The architecture was unapologetically modern. Think bold geometries, a lot of raw materials and concrete. It was a total breakaway from the colonial past and a leap into India's new future. Right, here we go, Sector 17, and it's actually pretty vast. You can see the concrete infrastructure here above us. This is meant to be like the heart of Chandigarh. It's actually very quiet. I thought it'd be a lot busier, but we'll see. There's meant to be a little piazza and kind of water feature right at the center of it all. Very clean lines, very sharp angles. Very cool. I bet it looks great at night actually. And then you can see those pigeon up there, but those kind of almost similar detailing to what we've seen everywhere else. Even the railings are similar to the facades. Everything kind of carries. And a water fountain that, again, I imagine if that's lit up at night, it looks fantastic. So welcome to Sector 17. Some trees in the piazza here. Beautiful trees. And then it kind of kicks back out again. Some spaces. No, thank you. Pretty neat, pretty tidy, pretty organised. A world away from Delhi. Grey Matters. Wait a minute, wasn't Grey Matter Walter White's company in Breaking Bad? Is Walter White here? Is that one of his many, many outlets? City of 1 million people, and like there's 1 million cars about. Where are all the people? Let me know what you think of Corb and this master plan, and what you think of Chandigarh as well, because it's definitely an interesting case study for master planning and architecture in general. I mean, some of this stuff I feel like hasn't dated that well. You know, I would almost call this something like a 70s council block in the UK, that sort of ilk, where you almost feel like you'd go into a block like this and walk out with nothing but your pants on. Interestingly, one of the things that Corb used to love to do was incorporate roads into his buildings, and this right here is a prime example of that. You can see we're walking up a bridge now. The ground plane's over there below us, so we've got a couple of stories up. Was that modern interpretation of, you know, the city of the future where cars integrate with buildings. So that is actually where we're going to leave it for this episode of Chandigarh. Why? Because next time I want to have a look at a few of the brutalist buildings that were created during Corb's utopian vision. Join me then when we check out some more architecture, but first we got to get there.